Pseudo boom. Nice. Man, I'm so upset at that sigil.
Was it that? I mean, the thing is, the first chunk was good, right?
It was pretty good almost all the way through. It's just that it ends with no
Ending. But
nothing.
but if you get another book that gives you that ending, I mean, there's plenty of Marvel books that do that, right? Really, you know. I mean, when you think about it, the new Avengers omnibus, you're going to buy two omnis, and you're not going to have the ending in there. Really, the ending's going to be in the Siege book, unless they include Siege in the omnibus. Do you know what I mean? So it's not unheard of.
I guess because it's still found somewhere. You can end the story at Siege. This doesn't have an ending.
I think they will.
You
It,
think Sigil will?
well, I mean, if it ends in Negation War,
Negation War never ended.
I
It
thought
had
it.
two issues that didn't continue.
Oh crap! I thought it was a two-issue series.
No.
Oh, well,
Like it didn't end.
I'm with you.
That's what I mean. It's
Sorry,
like I can't even get to. Oh, 1 second. I just need to get this phone call.
no problem. Hello, welcome to the pre-stream thingy thing. Oh, are you? Oh, you're mute.
I'm back. I'm
Hello,
back.
that was quick.
Hello.
Are you
Just
watching?
making sure. Yes.
My Mac is incredibly noisy, and I'm very.
Are any of our friends with us just yet?
I can't tell. I can never tell.
Oh, okay.
I can only tell if someone comments.
Not yet.
Um,
I think Eric's mom is watching, and that's it. That would be her handle on the Twitch.
she needs to do it. Just
Yeah.
one day. Just drop a comment on there that says Eric's
Right?
mum. Yeah.
Yeah, she says she's on. Is my
Hey. Thank you. We'll try and do fewer knob gags.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
I'm moving my
Um,
light so I don't look as if I'm missing a tooth. Does
no, you look good.
it look alright
You
on the
look
lighting? It
healthy.
looks dark. It looks gloomy.
No, no, you look good.
Thank you.
Where the folks on the Discord did how many people are gonna miss the first little bit?
I think by the time I got the message on, I think most people that at the other side of the world had already gone to bed.
Right.
And I've lost my phone. There it is. Right, let me just. Why is this Mac so noisy? It's really noisy. Can you hear it?
My mom says we both look good.
Aww. Why, thank
Hmm.
you, Mrs. Erickson.
What was I looking up for a second? Making sure my no. Yes. Making sure all the distractions that may come in are not there. Do you think we'll have a lot of overlap this week?
Yeah,
I have a couple extra that
me too.
weren't on my list originally and stuff that I haven't read. So we'll see. But
I,
feel free, whoever it is that goes first, lead the
yeah,
way.
just nab it. If you, I mean, your first night, so you might well end up nabbing one at least. I reckon in your opening one, you'll probably grab one. But I mean, I've got enough backup. There's plenty of like, there's some good stuff coming out.
There's a couple things there that I mean. There's one obvious one that it's either me or you are going to mention it.
Yeah,
Um, it only makes sense.
yeah.
And then there's a couple that I feel I would mention if you didn't, but I imagine you're going to mention them. Like I'm almost depending on you to,
Well, I mean, the thing is,
because you've read it.
my perspective on things like that is, I'm going to put the things I definitely want on my 5 on my list, knowing full well you've probably got 3.
Yeah.
But if you
Most likely.
if you take them, I'll just replace them, which is fine. But I'd rather do that than get to the end and go, shit, I would have mentioned those 3 and I thought they'd be on yours. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, because then
Exactly.
we don't end up
Yeah.
mentioning them, and they're the worthy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the worthy, got to mention a comic
The
reference,
word.
right? So I'm kind of, I normally have my windows open and I don't, and I'm slightly unprepared. So bear with me. You're
No problem.
watching live. Hey, it's Marvel Man. Hey, dude, how are you? How are you?
Hey,
What's
hey,
going
hey. How you
on?
doing, Marvel Man? Welcome back.
Are you viewing the chat right now, dude?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm viewing the chat. He just said hello,
There we go.
but that's it. Nothing else is going on
That's
there.
all good. Hello is great. Oh, we're so both going to have at least one of these. No, we're going to.
One of these.
I think
Have
we're
to.
going to have two minimum, possibly three.
Yeah, I think three's fair. But maybe not. There's one for sure that it'll be a repeat for me, but we'll get there when we get there. It's a good month, pretty good month.
Do you know what I didn't check?
What's that?
I didn't check our most wanted list from last year. Because I think two of those are on our previous most wanted episodes that are on mine. If
Okay.
not three.
Interesting. Now I'm wondering what you've picked. Most wanted. Okay. I don't think any of mine are.
No?
I don't think so. No. But a couple of yours. Let's see. We'll see.
Okay, right. I'm almost
Dun,
ready.
dun, dun.
Sorry.
No problem.
I suddenly
No.
realised my notes are basically the website of evil. So I need to just...
Yeah.
Why write it all out when you can just...
Copy paste.
just read it straight off the page.
That's true too.
Oh, this is weird. So what is this, a reprint? I've just discovered something I didn't... No. I know it. I just learned something by accident. It's lucky I did it this way. Huh. That's nice.
Oh man.
Okay.
I might color. Oh, there we go. Stay on
good?
purple.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is, ultimately, we're essentially 15 minutes early, technically.
Technically.
At this point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're good. Ready to start? Ready to drop the boom?
Boom away, my dude. Boom
All right,
away.
here we go. I'm not sure who's with us, but let's get down to business. 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom! Welcome, everybody, to the Omniverse Comics Guide podcast. We are your hosts, the Omniverse Comics Guide guys. I'm Eric. That's my pal.
I'm
Jake
Dave.
the Snake. Dave. What's with the snake, Dave? What's going on, buddy?
It's Glenn. It's just Glenn.
Oh, hello, Glenn.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Omniverse.
Why are you talking to him, weirdo?
Why not? You said you gave him a name. You got to
he's
acknowledge
Glenn.
him.
He's a snake with a troll's head.
Welcome to the show, Glenn. Thank you for joining us for this is first incoming. Congratulations on being here for incoming for March of 2025. Everybody who's with us on Twitch, we're starting a little bit early, so not everyone's with us on Twitch just yet. But if you are with us on Twitch, thank you for joining us. Everybody who's watching on YouTube, we really appreciate that. Please hit that rate and subscribe button, thumbs up. If you're listening on a different podcast platform, on your way to work, in your car, whatever it is you're doing, cleaning your house, we appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, leave us a review.
I'm always highly
And of
amused
course-
by the things that you choose to what people might be doing. I love it. We haven't done cleaning a house yet.
And of course, most importantly, we would really appreciate it if you visited the omniversecomics.guide, where it's your one-stop shop for our reading orders. I've got a list of everything that we've got there. We've got podcasts, videos, reading orders, special features, collector item specials. All of our podcast catalog is there. And I say it often, Dave's reading orders when it comes to crossover events or different character timelines to keep yourself in track with what you want to be reading, second to none. Best reading orders in the business. Omniversecomics.guide. Dave,
Hello.
it's already March, my friend. Are
Isn't
you
it
you got a big list of things
I've
in
got a pretty hefty one, but I don't want to brag about it. How about you?
your pretty decent. It's manageable.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's-
really? Okay.
Yeah, it works.
How many hands are required for your list? I failed,
Anyway.
Mrs. Erickson. I'm sorry. Straight
Yeah,
away.
anyway.
Right out the gate.
Meg Fred isn't even here yet. Yeah, March is already around the corner for stuff coming out. A lot of compendiums. I'm
Yeah.
liking the era of compendiums that I feel are
Yeah.
the wave of them that's coming.
Well,
Do you think yeah.
no, go
Go
on. Ask you a question, man.
No, I was gonna say, do you think that that's gonna be that everything that gets an Omni might be getting a soft cover Omni kind of transition?
Well, it's interesting because that wasn't what I thought you were going to say. But I mean, I noticed with DC, they're doing some stuff in both. So like
Yeah.
Dark Knight's Metal, which I wouldn't buy as an omnibus, they're releasing as a compendium, for an example, and I'd consider it because it's cheaper, and I'm not proud. I wouldn't be proud to own that, you know, because it's shit. So let's be honest, shall we? And yeah, but whereas Image, interestingly, a release. If you look through the year, there's tons of stuff coming out in compendium format.
Yeah.
Loads, including some stuff that we recommended on our Most Wanted Image Compendium episode.
Somebody's listening to
You
the
got dandruff?
Omniverse. Just wiping that dirt off our shoulder
Oh,
because we keep it nice and smooth, nice and
oh,
clean. You know what I
excellent.
mean?
Yeah. I don't know what your hip hop terms mean.
I'll say I'm patting
I'm
myself on the
from
back. We'll put it
Hampshire.
like that. Yeah, there's you're right. A lot of the things that we're putting on our most wanted omnis, compendiums, different from the different publishers are starting to, because I think we're not the only ones
Yeah,
who want these books to be in different form. And I just recently bought 3 of them myself,
they're pretty
so
as
I'm a big
well.
yes. I'm so excited to read them. I mean, the size of a phone book. Remember
Yeah,
phone books?
it's a lot of
But
comics
it's a lot of comics, man, and good bang for your buck, right?
and a complete story, eh?
That's the best part about it, because a lot of times there's the investment of, are you gonna buy volume two? No, everybody that gets into this game wants to have a complete set most of
Yeah,
the time. And there's a commitment to certain series where it's like, I'm gonna have to get that middle part that wasn't so good, but
yeah.
but with these, cover to cover, this is a complete story, which I love.
Me three.
And I just want to say before we begin, our last episode we did our top five cosmic
We did
recommendations.
indeed.
I recommended Sigil, which I really enjoyed, but I just want to give a caveat to anyone who took my recommendation that they might go out and buy it. There's no ending to it. So buyer beware. I'll just say that much.
So it's
I
a good
wish,
ride, but no
yes.
ending.
Yeah.
I'm,
And it
I'm
and
much the same.
of course you are.
Yeah.
Well, let's begin this ride
Disappointing
for
ending.
let's begin this ride for March incoming and see what you got
Speaking
incoming
of,
this. Marvel Man says he loves the snake. I love the snake too. Glenn,
oh, that's a
did you
rumor
just bring
starting there.
So, was it my turn first
It's
this
your
week?
turn, my dude.
Okay. There's one very, very obvious release of March coming out, and it's the Ghost Machine Volume 1 of Red Coat, which creators, of course, we talk about them every week now on our show to get people to go back and listen to those interviews that we were very, very privileged, lucky to get with Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch,
Yeah.
the writer-artist combo for Red Coat. It didn't surprise me that I would enjoy this series when I was, reading through the releases of what was coming out from Ghost Machine,
But
but I didn't know it would be my favorite.
no, same.
Yeah,
I
and
think
I'm
it's
not
my
just saying
favorite
that.
too.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because those are the two gentlemen we happen to have on the show, because I've interviewed a number of people from Ghost Machine from the past. But this book was really refreshing. I like it seemed like this time around, the different series from Ghost Machine, they were like buddy stories. There was a companion going along the ride with each of
Hmm.
whether it was Rook, whether it was
Oh, I haven't read Rook yet.
Geiger, and in this case Redcoat.
Yeah.
But what a tandem, right? What a buddy
Well, yeah.
sort of adventure this is. With
Unexpected and really unusual. Yeah.
yeah, and the best thing for us to do, I would say, is to go and check it out. The premise is, I'm trying to remember the main character's name, uh, Simon Pure, I think
Yeah,
it
Simon
is,
Pure. I was going to say that.
and it's the like the ironic part of it is that he's far from being a
yeah.
Puritan, right?
Uh,
So he's this guy who's been given that sort of Vandal Savage immortality curse, some way, somehow. Don't want to spoil it, but there's this conspiracy that needs to be uncovered and unraveled with a cabal of different people that are part of the American Constitution. And as he lives through different ages and partners with different people, one of his main uh, partners along the road of this adventure is none other than a young Albert Einstein.
hmm
Check it out.
It's not remotely what you'd expect.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
good.
So good. And I think this is issues 1 to 7.
I think you're right. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's I just wasn't like you say that I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. It not that I was expecting it to not be good with Jeff Johns and
Yes.
Brian Hitch together, but I don't know. I think like when you deal with creators who've played with established characters for so long, and you know their work on established characters, and you're going, okay, we've got a whole new world of characters here. What are we going to get from this? Is this going to work? Is it going to be good? It's not technically superheroes, but there's powers,
Right.
but it's not superheroes. What's it? Is it going
Right.
to be good?
Right.
Like,
Right. Right.
I loved it.
Because yeah, I loved it too. And there's a time where in any creative endeavor, sometimes people's best creative output is been done, and it doesn't feel like that with these stories, with these books. It
No
feels like everybody's on, like they're
fire.
firing on all cylinders, and Brian Hitch feels very inspired
Yeah.
doing this story. Like he feels like he's very invested in it, and it from the chat that we had with both of them is that there's a long-term plan for this character. There's a lot of story that's going to be told, which is exciting to, but there is an ending. That's the other exciting part. Like they also know how it ends.
Yes.
How are we going to get there? So come along for the ride. Let's do it. Red Coat Volume 1.
Nice. Excellent start. And you stole from me. You little
I figured that
trickster.
was.
Look at you. I
I
didn't
know.
trust that cheeky little face. Right. So, shall I hit you with my first?
Yes, let's go.
I'm going to hit you with my chunker now because this is a big one. It's 856 pages. So for a Marvel omnibus, it's not as big as some, but it's big to me because this is the weight has been big. Like the physical weight might not be huge, but we've been waiting years for this book. This is Daredevil by Andersenti, John Romita Jr.
Mm,
Omnibus Volume 1. Oh, why haven't we had this already? It's funny because like Marvel seem to be pumping out a lot of omnis or have been for a while. That they just left me kind of going, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing like a specific month in 1965 or something like that? It just seems weird. Or like, let's do a Dark Phoenix Volume 2. Why? I don't know who's buying them, but good luck to him. For me, though, this is a rarity because I don't generally buy Marvel Omnis anymore because I feel like I've kind of got most of what I want. Most, but not everything. And this is one of the things. So it's Anna Senti's run. So it's Daredevil 234 to 266 and Punisher number 10. So it picks up. I don't think Nocenti's the writer straight away, and I meant to check this beforehand, but I just ran out of time. But it follows on immediately from Born Again. So if you get
right.
Born Again or you have Born Again in the Frank Miller Companion Omnibus, this is the stuff that continues on from there. It's a strange beginning, and there are some weird issues at the start. And I think part of that comes from like switches in creative teams, or maybe Anna Senti trying to kind of find her feet with the character. But there's a 2-part Wolverine story with art by Rick Leonardi, which if I remember rightly, is issues 248 and 249, and or it could be 247, 248, something like that. And that's really good fun. That's got Bushwhacker in it. Great name. And it follows on that. I believe 250 is when John Romita Jr. starts on the book, and it's great. For me, it's great from the beginning. He might have jumped on
I
earlier.
I always hear very good things, like people who are Daredevil fans, they stick around for like the fact that this is uh going in a different direction than what Frank Miller did. It didn't for a lot of people, like this is their favorite
Mm.
era of Daredevil. It's a celebrated run. So it's like you said, I'm surprised that they hadn't put this out before, especially because of the Romita Jr. This is a time where a lot of people like his stuff during the Daredevil run, and I haven't read any of this,
No,
like not a lick of it. No, so
you're in for a
might be
treat.
interesting. So it's you would recommend it,
Highly recommend it. Be prepared because towards the end it goes into Inferno. It does get a bit weird, but everything got weird during Inferno. After
right?
that, for Volume 2, was when I'd started reading Daredevil as a kid, when I was 12, sorry. And I was really confused by it because it was like no other title of the Marvel books I picked up. It was just very much its own thing, quite dark and one-shot stories and what the hell is going on. but I grew to love it. I grew to love Daredevil quite quickly.
Hmm.
But these stories take you all the way through events like Fall of the Mutants, Inferno. Um, we've got the Typhoid Mary saga. The reason why there's a Punisher issue in there as well. So Daredevil 257 is told from Daredevil's perspective, and Punisher issue 10, which with art by Will Potato, is told from the Punisher's perspective. So the two stories kind of cross over, but can be read separately. But it's just quite an interesting way to. I like it when stories do that. It's quite good
Yeah, yeah.
fun. So, and it really ups the ante again eventually, of course, with the Kingpin as the main villain, because he doesn't have a right hand person as a hit person anymore, because it was Bullseye, Hitman. But Typhoid takes that role in this one,
Mm.
and it's a very different dynamic, because you didn't see Daredevil get off with Bullseye very often.
No, not too often. Once or twice, but no.
Maybe off panel.
Yeah, that one time. No, that's very cool. It's always exciting when, like this past year, they put out that Mark Gruenwald Captain America. Now they're putting out this of the same sort of time, this era of Daredevil with Ann Nocenti and John Romita. And I know people, Daredevil is just one of those cult characters where he's got a fandom that people stick with and they love it. Even in like the ups and downs, they stick with the guy.
Yeah, for the most part though, it's generally ups, and the other part of it is that even though I listed 2 or 3 crossovers in there, but you can read those despite the crossover event itself. Daredevil normally sits kind of on its own
Yeah.
for the most part, even though he might
Yeah.
cross over into Punisher. He might, they might do a bit of that occasionally, but it's not that often. So when they did, I
Yeah.
think years later, like Shadowland, it just felt a bit un-Daredevil to have him the center of a massive crossover event. And I think part of that's the appeal, and just constantly the constant torment. He's one of those characters, I think, where you can look at him and go, "Thank I'm not Matt Murdock." I don't care who you
Honestly.
get lucky with. I'm so glad I'm not you.
Right? It's so true. He just gets the shit kicked out of him too often, his heart broken very frequently, and is a lawyer that does things pro bono. Like he's not even making a lot of money doing what he's doing.
And when does he sleep?
Yeah, never. Exactly. But yes, Daredevil, one of those characters that just the suffering that keeps on giving
Yeah.
when you read,
But
right?
don't we love it?
Yeah, we do. Nice. Happy you brought that up. It was on my list
I was.
as one of those where I hope he picks it because I knew that this was something I figured you would, but I didn't want it to go unmentioned because I know for
Yeah.
a lot of people this is a big one. Nice.
No, it very much
All
so
right.
is.
My number two, it's a repeat. I mentioned it in our last episode, and it is the Star Wars: The Old Republic, Volume One. John Jackson Miller, Brian Ching is one of the artists on it, amongst others. It's from the Dark Horse era of Star Wars
Did you say
stories.
it's
Pardon?
Knights of the Old Republic?
It's the Old Republic.
I think you did
Knights
that
of the Old
last
Republic.
episode.
Yes, I did. I did say it
Oh,
last
sorry,
episode,
sorry,
and
sorry.
I said last episode I'm gonna pick it for the incoming because it's being re-released.
Oh, I
So
see.
I'm
I'm
picking
so
it again
sorry.
for
That was
reference.
I fucked
Yes.
up. Sorry. Please
No,
feel
that's
free to
okay.
ignore me or start again or
No,
whatever.
no, no. I know it's a repeat, back to back, but it is
Oh,
one that
oh, you're right. It was
I've
in
read and I
Cosmic.
really, really enjoy. Pardon?
It was in Cosmic, wasn't it? Cosmic
Yes, it
top
was in the
10.
Cosmic
My
line.
mistake.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry.
Yes, it was. No, 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 that's okay. It just so happened, I guess serendipitously, I'm like, I want to pick this story, and then I saw it's also coming on an incoming. I said, screw it.
That's right.
I'm going to double down on it. I won't go too much detail about it because we did mention it in the Cosmic, but it is coming out in March. It's about 55, 56 issues looking back on what's included in it. So it is hefty. You're getting a lot of reading material, but it is a one and done kind of story. You're not bound to having to pick up a bunch of other things unless you liked that universe, the Dark Horse Star Wars era, which again, I'll repeat it, it's not in continuity with the Disney whole new Lucasfilms, whatever they're
No.
doing, but who cares?
It was
Who
at the
cares?
time.
It was at the time. And it is really, really good stuff. You got like the full era of the Jedi in full power. There's a murder conspiracy that this Jedi Padawan, they planted it on him, so he's a fugitive running through the universe trying to escape, but in the process becomes an adventurer. And the Mandalorians and the Jedi go at war with each other. Check it out. It's wicked.
Nice.
55 issues worth of comics.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I'm happy that it's back out. And John Jackson Miller also has recently put out a novel, prose novel of Batman, like the 1989 Batman the movie universe. It's
Oh,
a direct sequel to the movie, but it's in a novel. So he's kind of back in the
it's back
I
in the
guess the
superhero
zeitgeist
game.
of fan.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So it's cool that they're putting this back out there as well. It's deserving, definitely deserving.
nice. Oh, thanks, man. Sorry, that's what happens when I read the comments and I don't 100% listen to
No,
them.
no, no. That's okay. That's okay. I know it's a repeat, but
It's all good.
all right. Your
Okay,
number two.
my number two is by Brian Michael Bendis. What do you think it is? No, it's not that. It's Hellspawn Complete Collection. So this is a paperback collection, 424 pages, issues 1 to 16. You've also got writing from Steve Niles on it, who's known for 30 Days of Night, and art by Ashley Wood and Ben Templesmith. I mean, this is going to be a nasty book. I think this got quite a lot of praise at the time when it came out, alongside Sam and Twitch, because I think he was doing them about the same time.
Mm, okay.
So and Ashley Wood did the covers, a lot of the covers for Sam and Twitch. So this is where a lot of I just think his old school kind of crime based singular character focused stuff was what got him noticed initially. Even though he was known
Mm.
later for doing these big team books and lots of people all making saying Jewish phrases, all of them, doesn't matter what their backgrounds were.
It's true.
But I never cared. I just loved his writing, man, on all those titles. I didn't care. But yeah, he was known at the time for more of his indie stuff and for working on the kind of Spawn sub-universe at Image. So yeah, it's not quite a compendium, but it is chunky enough. 424 pages, paperback. I know very little about it. I think it's just a largely standalone thing. I think it runs alongside the Spawn series. I don't even know. I don't really care. I just want to read Bendis on Spawn. It's been years since I've read about this being supposedly being fantastic, and I've never read
Right.
it. So
Yeah.
while I've read a lot of Bendis earlier stuff, this is one of the gaps, and that's why I want it. And Ashley Wood's
Yeah.
art, please.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah, there's sometimes you go blind on a buying a book because of the reputation of the writer,
Yeah,
the era that it was. Like you said, this is just a blind spot for me. I got to fill that in.
yeah.
But it's exciting that it's an exciting time for collectors where there's a lot of things that are. It's like I can't believe they're doing that. Or finally, there's nothing that is off the table.
No, it feels
Hopefully,
that way,
at this
doesn't it?
point.
It feels like
Yeah.
it's been a long wait, but like when you have things like Marvel versus DC Omnibus in your hands, it feels like it's open. Everything's fair game now.
Right. Anything.
Within
Anything is
reason. We've
possible.
got ROM omnibuses.
Right.
We've got
I know.
ROM.
Micronauts, everything.
What?
Knights of Pendragon, you name it.
Yeah, why? Sorry.
All right? It's okay.
I know Pendragon's got its fans, but hey, it's all good. So I think this is a good one for Spawn collectors as well, because just as a future note, while they have released 2 oversized hardcovers of Sam and Twitch, they're also doing a Sam and Twitch compendium as well. And I've decided to ditch my first hardcover volume and go compendium, because I've got
Nice.
Spawn 1 to 6 in compendium format. So what do you think I'm gonna do with all that? What do you think
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna do?
you're gonna go with the prettier girl.
That and probably the origin order.
All right, very nice. I like it. I see that our lists aren't crossing over too much. So far it
No,
was just the one.
maybe
Okay.
one more.
Maybe one more. All
Maybe.
right, I'm at number 3 now.
Okay.
Here we go. This is one that was released years ago as just like a hardcover, but now it's got the omnibus. I was gonna say omniverse, the omnibus stamp
I do that.
on the spine. It is X-Men Fatal Attractions. That's coming out March 18th. It's during a pretty key time in the team's history. Some key moments take place in this story. I particularly like one of the. I hope we get to talk about it somewhere down the line in a more creator-specific episode. But there's, I think, included in this the Peter David X Factor issue where Doc Samson talks to the
Oh,
team.
yeah, I think it is in this collection. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very cool. Character moments throughout this book that at the time of Uncanny X-Men 300, so anniversary sort of setting, big storytelling taking place. The infamous, famous, classic, I don't know how you want to, what you would want to call it, X-Men 25 moment with the showdown is included in this.
Yes.
So there's a lot of stuff that, I mean, we've talked about it before, but there's plenty of things that we don't want to spoil. It's a fun read. The reason I enjoy this story so much is because it's one of the first times where when I read it was during the lockdown, and it gave me an opportunity to sit, and I had the time now on my hands to read like a big long form story.
Uh huh.
And Fatal Attractions was one of those books that I had on my shelf for years. I said, let me actually try to read this cover to cover. And I enjoyed the way it was laid out and the fact that I was just invested in these characters in this story and the crossover stuff. They included it. And I'm like, I like reading 25 issues of, or whatever is included, of just these characters for a bit. Yeah, it is a lot. It's about 800 pages and change, but
Yeah.
you're getting the X family at the time was so vast. Like there were so many characters, so many things happening, so many subplots that were taking place. And this also follows the Chris Claremont era. He's no longer the main writer at this time. So you're getting
Yeah.
some very 90s fresh ideas, big plot lines. But yeah, X-Men, Fatal Attractions, Fatal Attractions, March 18th.
Okay.
Where is this for you on your in your X-Men
I sold it because I really don't. I'm not a fan. I think
Okay,
the thing is
I
that
was
the
interested.
X Factor issues are great, and there's 87 to 92 are included, and I love them. And they've got the Joe Quesada art and everything. And the X Force issue I think is really good fun. The Wolverine issue is really good. There's that
Hmm.
continuity problem between X-Men 25 and 75 that I've mentioned before. Most people don't ever seem to have noticed it, but it's bothered me since I read it when it came out. And there's just some odd issues in there. There's some nice issues in there, but overall, I decided to get rid of it because it just didn't doesn't work for me.
Doesn't do it for you. Fair enough. But that's I think that's the beauty of the we got two different perspectives that we both read it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
for for me this was I guess that comfort comics, that nostalgic reading of at the right time, it put me on to reading omnibuses almost as my main way of reading comics. So I always have like a soft spot for this. And it's got some classic stuff in it
It
if you're an
has.
X-Men
It
fan.
genuinely has.
Yeah, it definitely
There is some
it
good
definitely
stuff
does.
in it.
Yeah,
I'm not just
for sure.
saying
Check
that
it
to
out.
appease you.
Yeah. No, I don't think you are because you said it yourself.
Yeah.
You mentioned a bunch of issues that you do really like in here. So,
Yeah.
yes, X-Men, March 18th, Fatal Attractions.
Cool.
I can't say attractions.
It's
Blah,
don't
blah,
worry
blah.
about it. It's very popular in the chat, by the way. Oh, right, okay.
Ugh.
Because we've hit we're just about to go into ad break. I will tell
Yes.
you the continuity error. So if you, I won't include this in the main edit. The continuity error is at the end of X Men 25, they pull the adamantium. Block your ears if you've never read it. Out of Wolverine, but it sticks out of him, and he literally gets carried away telekinetically with all the exactly Scrub says with all the pointy bits sticking out. And then the next issue, they're just gone. I thought he was gonna walk around with all these spikes and shit out of him for a while, and then you go into the
Mm.
next issue, and it's just where did it go? I mean, you do find
Yeah.
out where
Beast.
it went later around X Men,
Yeah.
around Wolverine 100. But I mean, how did it get from what did they pull him out? How did they get tweezers? Or how did this work? Don't know.
BC Scrubs actually brought that exact point out. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you. There's more. There's a couple more people who noticed it. All right, the freaks are in the club with us,
Whoa! Well, that was
noticing
a bad woo.
continuity issues.
Woo.
Yeah, those are
Yes.
the things where you're like, there's so many people working on this and nobody caught it. And then we're the nerds. They're like, where's the explanation?
I don't know. No
Tweezers?
one mentioned tweezers. No one mentioned it at the time for years, and it's one of those things where, like in the letters pages you used to read, and go like, someone must have mentioned. It. Nope, no mention at the time when I used to read the letters pages back in the day. But
Well,
yeah,
we're
it was
mentioning it
really
here.
weird. And
Nothing.
I think you're right,
We
Omega Red. It did disappear up his ass.
makes sense. Yes. So that's my number three. Thank you for clearing that up. That's I like that little inside baseball when it comes to continuity stuff. That's
That's all
cool.
right.
Dave, the Marvel expert. Commercial break. We got anything
Let's do it.
shaking? Anything happen? Yes, let's go.
So new to the Omniverse. Let's see what we got. Jump on Marvel Comics. Fuck off, Dave. Jump on omniversecomics.guide to find out what's new to the Omniverse, or just listen now. Fucking Marvel Comics Guide. Who did that website ever? Oh, get with the present, David. Right. First up, character reading orders. We've got Resident Alien, which covers the Dark Horse series from 2011 to present. That's just about to jump on Netflix, at least in the UK. So if you want to know what it's really supposed to be about and not some weird comedy, then read the comic. It's way better. Events and crossovers from Marvel. We've got Behold Galactus from 1982 to 83. So that's got Fantastic Four, Rom, and Dazzler. And it all kind of merges together. Read them separately, read them together. Do what you want. I don't care. The Brood Saga, 1982 to 83. Great X-Men saga. Some of the space stuff. There's some weird story elements in the Brood Saga, but also introduces the New Mutants. War to End All Skrulls has also been added, which is an Avengers event. From DC, Crisis on Earth Prime from 1982. Hinting there that there's possibly a big Crisis reading order on the way. I'll cut that bit. Returning Reflections starring Batman from 1985, going up against some Flash foes. The Hateful from 2000, featuring Nightwing and the Birds of Prey. And that leads into The Hunt for Oracle from 2000, which is a Nightwing Birds of Prey event. Podcast and video, we've got our top 20 comic book collector editions from 2024, part 2, which is our respective top 10s, our respective top 5s, but our top 10 favourites of the year. Don't miss it. Incoming collector editions from February 2025. That's this year. Keep up, Dave. Top 10 cosmic comics, which is all the space stuff. Well, not all the space stuff. Our top 10 cosmic comics, which is covering loads of cosmic and space-based sagas from various different publishers. 10 recommended reads there. And finally, a collector's item special with EPHK, big favourite of mine. And he's listing 5 of his favourite books from his own personal collection that he's recommending. It was great to have him on. He's such a nice guy.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. I love it. Anything else, Dave, before we keep going with the countdown? No? All right.
Oh, there's one little thing before we do restart. For anyone, again, just wanted to say thanks again for everyone who supported us while we were doing the what's it called, subscription stuff. I am now going to start making those available pretty much every week or every other week. They'll be publicly available from now on. So expect to see the Book of the Dead series, the Many Armors of Iron Man, and What to Read Before, and those other features reappearing on there soon, but they'll be accessible to all.
Awesome. Yes, and thank you to everybody who has supported us along the way. We really appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed, that's for sure. Thank you.
True.
Dave, you're number 3 for incoming?
I am number 3.
Let's do it.
Sorry, the burp.
It's Glenn. Glenn's choking you.
Glenn's making me belch again. Glenn,
yeah.
Stop it. What have I told you? So, incidentally, before I do my number 3, thank you, Brad, for reading the Behold Galactus reading order. And the whole thing about Galactus getting the chub for Dazzler is really weird. Yeah.
And I know.
Who knew?
And I'm going to read that book for the wrong reasons now.
Oh, yeah. It won't be quite as graphic as it sounds, though. Don't be disappointed.
Okay. Yansum, how are you? Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Everyone's coming in a little bit later today, but you're not late. We started a little early.
We
appreciate you. Yes, we are number 3 Yansum for the incoming for March. Dave, take it away.
Okay, my number 3 is El Fuego. I know that might have been on your list, but I'm afraid I'm gonna beat you to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know I like my random stuff. This is from Oni Press. It's from David Rubin, who was the artist on the second series of Rumble. I think that's probably what he's best known for. He also did... Oh no, I've forgotten what it's called. Oh crap! It was a Matt Kint book. He worked with Matt Kint on Ether for Dark Horse as well.
Yes.
I So he's done some weird stuff. I'm going to read the thing. Where is it? From visionary storyteller David Rubin, who's done Cosmic Detective and The Hero. I didn't mention those. Naughty boy. El Fuego is a psychological, philosophical, and geographical odyssey through the last remaining days of planet Earth. It's the story of one particular inhabitant who must decide how much more of himself to give to the greater good before truly finding peace within. It continues, but I'm not going to spoil it for me. But yeah, we got 256 pages in a hardcover from Oni Press. I don't know what size that is. Probably standard size, but you never know. Just judging by the price. Oh no, judging by the price, it might be a bit bigger. I like David Rubin's stuff. It's often very strange, which, yeah, thank you. You are what you read, and I'm very strange. And I don't really 100% know what I'm going to get from it. But I love this. He did this book called Grand Abyss Hotel, which I'll probably mention on an episode one day. But I'm not even sure I got it. But I had such a great time reading it.
Sometimes that's all. The journey is part of the enjoyment, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, I think it's
was
one
it
of those
fun
ones
along
as
the
well
way?
that you read multiple times and you start to go,
Right.
right. So it's one of these books. He's one of those creators, I think, where when he does his own stuff, he gives you something to come back to. So I do like to have books that I can read, leave for a bit, and go. I'm ready now to give that another go. I'm just going to do it again and just escape for a bit. But yeah, it just sounds like there's some. Well, probably would have been suitable for last week's cosmic recommendations by the sound of things. I'm just curious to see what he's got.
Nice. What's it called again? From Oni Press?
Oni Press. It's El Fuego, Fuego. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, yeah.
By David Rubin.
Nice. Cool. All right. I like that we represent all the different publishers as best as we can.
Yeah.
We try. Okay, my number four?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened? Let me see. What can I steal from Dave then? No, I'm just kidding.
You can if you want.
Let's go. I don't think this has ever been, no, I'm pretty certain. Green Arrow, Archer's Quest from Kevin Smith, Phil Hester, and Judd Winnick is being released. It collects issues 1 to 39 from Green Arrow when he is essentially resurrected. This was Kevin Smith's kind of, I wouldn't say his breakout. I'm not sure if he worked on Daredevil first
I
and
think
then
he did do Daredevil first. I think.
yeah. But yeah, I always hear him tell the story of how he had a plan of how to bring Green Arrow back if DC ever wanted to do it. So this is his opportunity to do it. I know a lot of people hold this series up in high regard. I'm a Green Arrow fan, just as a character. I enjoy reading it. I've read Archer's Quest. I think it's issues 1 to 8 or the first the Kevin Smith portion. I've read most of it, but I don't remember it well enough to say I loved it. But it's very cool to see omnis that haven't been put out yet to
Yeah.
get their time to shine finally after being collected in different formats or not even being getting a complete series collected of it to be able to read the whole thing unless you had it in single issue. So this is cool that I don't know if this is listed as a volume 1,
Yeah.
but it does. So far DC's been good about lately trying to complete their whatever it is that they've started a run on in a collected format. So hopefully we get a full Green Arrow series collected here, but this is issues 1 to 39. I think a crossover with the Green Lantern is included, which I think this is still before Hal Jordan comes back, but I could be wrong. I don't
It
know
is. Yeah.
the
You're
years that
right.
this. Yeah. So it would probably be Kyle Rayner would
Yes.
be the Green Lantern of the time. So interesting time at DC just before that big Infinite Crisis. Everything is bigger than ever before you got the Sinestro Corps War. This is just before that time, which is good stuff. I'm reading some stuff from this era now, and I'm enjoying that era of DC. So here's to Green Arrow. Hopefully this omnibus finds its audience and people love what's included in it. I'm not sure if I'm
Well.
getting it just yet, but it's on the list.
Oh no, it's definitely on my list. For sure. I don't know. I like the kind of. I mean, let's face it. Even though he had his own TV series, he's still kind of B-listy. Green Arrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's what I like about what they're doing now. Is they're still, like you say, they're giving those B-list and C-list characters their due and collecting them up. That crossover is with Kyle. It's called Black Circle, and it's a 6-parter.
Very cool.
But it looks like, yeah, it's a volume one. It's 1,128 pages. I mean, we're gonna get. I don't know if that. I think that might be two volumes. Can't remember.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure of how long this ran for, but I know that it's been reformatted in a number of styles. I think there might even be an absolute of
Yeah,
this.
they did the absolute, and then they did the second story arc in deluxe, and then that
Yes.
was it. So
Yeah.
it was a bit weird. Although this series goes on to issue 75, so maybe we'll get three omnis out of it. No,
I think no. I think you could get
you can
two.
do it in
I think
two.
two is yeah. Two is just right. So that's that again. You get a nice two-volume set of
Yeah,
Green
it's
Arrow
two.
during a key moment in the character's history, a fresh sort of restart, a good jumping on point as well, and comic book fan, director, fanboy himself, Kevin Smith is getting his opportunity to spread his wings and tell a little bit long form story. I don't know when Judd Winnick comes on, but I'm a fan of Judd Winnick's stuff for the most part. I can't really
I
think of
think it's the
anything of his
second
that I
arc, but yeah.
yeah. So here's thumbs up to DC for putting this out there. Very cool.
Thanks, DC. I get
All
very
right.
happy when I see listings for these kind of books. Like, really, really, it's just
Me too.
old school DC is really exciting me at the moment because I never
Yeah.
got to read it when I was younger, and I always felt like I was the kid at the window breathing heavily on there and drawing a little sad face on the condensation. Let me in.
All right. Number four.
Okay, my number four won't be a surprise, or maybe it will. Don't know. You tell me. This was on our most wanted Marvel Omnis last year, but I
Okay.
didn't know what to call it, and I didn't know how far back to go. But it looks as if it's a volume one, and it's going to have a good few volumes, if probably three. Don't know. Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts Omnibus, Volume One, and it's got Steve Englehart, Marv Wolfman, Gardner Fox. It's got a number of creators on it. Jim Starlin, I think, does some stuff in this as well. And I
Ooh.
believe, I don't know if we get to Chris Claremont yet. That might be the next book. But you've got issues 3 to 14 of Marvel Premiere, which kind of launched his new ongoing that then bled into the 1974 relaunch of Doctor Strange. You got 22 issues of that. Annual number one, and the Tomb of Dracula tie-in from their crossover, which I think was called the Tomb of Doctor Strange, and I think that's what I called it when I covered it on the Marvel Comics Guide. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
I
I
think
remember
someone
that
mentioned it
guy.
earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want this run of Doctor Strange. I want the 70s to 80s run of Doctor Strange.
Right, right.
I
I was
don't
just
know
about to
why.
ask what era is this taking place in? But you said Steve Englehart, so I kind of
Yeah,
got an
Steve
idea. But
Englehart,
that's
Wolfman. But eventually, I think in Volume Two you'll get Claremont and Roger Stern and people like so. Different
yeah.
writers seem to just kind of chop in and pick up. It's almost like no one knows what to do with him consistently. So they go, "I've done my bit. Let me come up with an idea. Do you want to take it for a while?" Because he is this
How long did
odd character.
this series run for?
I think it ran to about 81 issues, which was about mid 80s.
Interesting. Yeah, because I see
So
a
you get
lot of
Paul
the
Smith on there by that time, and Brett Blevins, people like that doing the art.
and it has never been collected before.
Only sporadic bits.
Huh. Very cool.
Yeah,
Again, similar to that Green Arrow feeling of finally they're putting that series out there that there is a long history of people who or a portion of this character's history that matters to a lot of fans of the character. Why aren't you
yeah,
putting it out there for them?
yeah. Bit weird, right? But
Yeah.
it's funny because I used to think back in the day I don't want to read anything before the 80s because I feel like 70s stuff is probably not really for me. But the older I've gotten, the more I've wanted to go back and read 70s stuff from both Marvel and DC. Mostly certain characters. For Marvel, Strange is one of those characters where I want to go back and read the really trippy stuff and appreciate it on a
Yeah.
completely different level.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of finding myself in the same boat with Silver Surfer. I've read a little bit of Doctor Strange, which is a character I would have never cared to try before. But and then conversely, this year, I mean, later down the road, we're getting some stuff on the DC side where you're getting like their version of Doctor Strange. Doctor Fate is getting
Yeah,
finally a little bit of
yeah,
shine. So it's cool to see these sort of esoteric style characters that have they're consequential. Like they're in the stories that throughout the history of Marvel, they're pretty consequential characters. So it's
oh
cool
yeah.
that they're getting proper shine. Yeah.
What's funny as well is because he's in Defenders as well at the same time, so
Oh,
he kind of
right.
had two titles going. And I
Right.
just looked
Right.
at the
Right. Right.
page count, and it's 776 pages, which is quite low, I think. So this might be
Yeah.
one of those ones where they're doing it thinner and it's 3 volumes.
They're milking it. Yeah.
Cha-ching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not a fan of that, but it's coming out. It's just cool.
there's a question in the chat from BC Scrubs, which was speaking of older Marvel stuff, have they ever done a Silver Surfer Omni? They did do a volume one, which was the late 60s stuff.
It's yeah, the
And
issues 1 to
then
18.
yeah, but
The
later this year they're going to do the next series, which is the 1987 series, up to
That's
just before
very cool.
Infinity Gauntlet. So, and I
Very
think I
cool.
can't remember what it's called, but it is might be called Homecoming or something like that. It's it will be on the list. Trust me.
Yeah. I
Yes, Ron Lim.
that w that was one of my epic collection eras of a character that I wanted to collect what would have been in this Omni, so
Yeah,
it's very cool that it's
yeah,
coming out.
really cool. I've been waiting for that for a long
Yeah,
time.
me too. Nice. Okay. Wrapping it up, my number 5. Where do I go?
Where do you
Hmm.
go? I don't know what you're going to
I
pick.
haven't mentioned anything from Image just yet. No, I did. We did Red Coat. Um, I'm gonna go with something that's a blind buy for me. It would be John Layman's Chew Compendium, or the way it's titled. I gotta look it up because it's titled in a way that I couldn't pronounce it easily. It was Numnibus,
Oh yeah, Tune Omnibus. That was it. I was trying to remember as well what they called it.
and I've never read this series. I've always seen it on the shelves, and whenever I go into the Image section of the store, a lot of people are fans of it who are big fans of it. But reading it today, and of course seeing a compendium or an omnibus like collection of Image, this collects 1,488 pages. It's 60 issues of the best-selling
That's
Harvey
big.
Multiple Eyes Award-winning series. Yeah, it's about cops, crooks, cooks, cannibals, and clairvoyants in a single massive volume. I like the alliteration. Just that in itself is fun. So Detective Chu is a detective with a secret, a weird secret. Tony Chu is a Sibopathic, which means he gets psychic impressions from whatever he eats. It also means he's a hell of a detective as long as he doesn't mind nibbling on the corpse of a murder victim to figure out who done it and why. I read iZombie last year, which is not the same, but somewhat of a similar premise,
Uh huh.
where the main character has to stay alive by being a zombie by eating the brains of people.
Yeah.
But in this case, they would get memories. Similar to what the premise is here. I kind of like that premise, but he's a detective in this case. And again, a complete series, front to back, full story, the full vision between the artist and the writer, and you get it all in
One
one nice chunk to
very
chew on.
very big chunk to chew on. Nice,
There you go,
nice
pun
pun.
intended. We intend that pun.
Intend that pun.
Yeah, have you read any of this?
I read the first 6 or 12 issues and then fell off. I think that was around the time I was dipping into lots of different things and kind of going, it's okay, but I want to
Okay.
try that one more. So I'm tempted, especially at that size and that price.
Yeah. I've again, people who've read it say good things about it, but sometimes these well-known Image books within the comic community, there isn't a lot of place for you to get like a fair review as well. So it's good to sometimes bring up these things and try to throw them into the chats and see what everyone else has thought about it, people who've read it. So I want to give this a shot. Sounds good.
Cool.
That's my number cinco.
Sorry. I did. I was trying to respond there again. I'll chop this probably, but the iZombie TV series did the crime solving thing, but it was very different to the comic. Hugely
Yes.
different. I
Yeah,
watched
yeah.
one or two episodes, but I was kind of watching it, going, yeah, but it's not. Why call it that when it's not that?
Did you read iZombie?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I
it's a
absolutely
lot of
loved
fun.
it. But I like Chris
It's a ton of
Roberson
fun.
stuff. He does a lot of stuff for Hellboy.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So
And
he
I
does
was
that dark humor really, really well. And
yeah.
Michael Red's art is probably the best I've ever seen Michael Red's art on
Yeah,
anything
it's really, really good.
ever.
Yeah, it's really good. Again, a blind buy for myself, iZombie, and I loved it. So
Yeah.
the premise the premise seems pretty not the same, different enough, but close enough to be like, yeah, if you like one, you might like the other.
Yeah,
Give it a
excellent.
shot.
Nice choices again this month, dude.
Round us out,
I'm
Dave.
going to
Bring
round
it
this
home.
out. So I haven't done a DC one this month, and I'm not going to, surprisingly, because I think you took the one I would have done. So, no, there are
Hmm.
ones I would have done. Anyway, ignore that. I'm going to go with Kai Louis. Kai Louis? I don't even know how you pronounce it. Kai Louis. It's KY, and sometimes we all need a bit of KY. KYLOOE.
Looe.
It's 384 pages, paperback from Dark Horse, and I believe it's a French comic.
Yes. I don't see the English edition here, but continue.
No, but I had to look earlier. I only accidentally found out it's by someone called Little Thunder, who I know nothing about. So this is all going to be very, very new to me. But there were some sample pages, and I thought this looks
Yes.
fantastically
Wow.
strange and
Yes, it
different,
does.
and like we've got very much like El Fuego. Interestingly, there's a lot of space stuff mixed with very trippy space stuff mixed with Earthbound, very normal stuff. I'm going to read the blurb.
Yes.
In fact, I might just do the little mini blurb and stop at that. Step into the intimate, touching, and emotional dream world of Kailui. Hong Kong artist Little Thunder brings imagination to life with beauty, joy, and wonder through surreal art and sensual colours in this collection of 3 stories. So it's kind of like a little mini anthology. But yeah,
Available for the first time in English.
available first time
Very
in
cool.
English. Good spot. Yeah,
Yeah.
jump on something, maybe Dark Horse's site. Yeah. Avoid the Bezos, and take a look at some of the art on this book. It looks lovely, and 384 pages. It's that kind of just enough a chunker that makes me happy. I like that kind of.
Yeah, it's a great yeah, it's a perfect for the price point, for the amount of page counts, just right. Do you mind if I read the blurb about it? Because it
Oh, go
seems
for it.
very interesting. Yeah. So a typical teenager finds growing up is rough. One day she cuts class to buy the new album from her favorite band, and she sees a strange, mysterious yet familiar creature on the cover. It is Kailui, her old friend. He's back, he's real, and he'll do anything to protect her. Then an awkward girl makes an impression on a popular teen, and they begin to connect beyond their peer statuses. So that's I won't go further because it's breaking down all these different parts of, I guess, the anthology. But what got me was, have you ever dreamed of escaping to return to the warm, carefree moments of childhood? And I think everybody kind of lives their life hoping to do that one day.
Well, that's why we read comics to a large degree.
It, exactly. So it just completely captured me by that elevator pitch.
Yeah,
I'm like, yes, all the time, every day. That's all I ever want to do. So I'll probably put this on my list. And the art
yeah.
on the sample is very cool. Very, very cool.
So Meat Trunks says it was published in France, but the author Little Thunder is from Hong Kong. So so it's Hong Kongese comics. Does that mean so? It's not manga. It's because it's not black and white or anything. So it's full color and very, very bright and bold. Manga mix. Are you guys making stuff up?
Mm. Honk the Geese comics.
You
Manga
so
mix.
are.
Yeah, that's a good catchphrase. I like it. Manga
Was
mix.
there anything else from your that didn't quite make your
Yeah.
list that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, there's a couple things that will probably be on both of our lists. So there's Justice League New 52 Book 2. I'm a big fan of that Justice League series. I like that they're putting them out in these, they're not necessarily omnis, but they're these kind of epic collection size, 500 pages worth of comics, which is really cool. And this is the second volume, which looks like, it doesn't give on the website where I got my information the issues collected, but it does look like it goes into the Trinity War aspect just before we get to, or maybe even into Forever Evil.
Okay.
We might be getting some of that in that collection. And the East West
Oh,
Compendium, I
sorry,
was going to
it
mention
blanked
it.
out a bit there, dude. Sorry. Can you say it once more?
No problem. East of West Compendium. I tried giving this series a chance in the past because people swore by it. Jonathan Hickman, and it's the greatest thing ever. So I tried. It's a beautiful book. Nick Dragotta, I think, is the artist.
That's right.
But I felt like I wasn't I wasn't getting at the time, but it's coming out in a compendium, and I feel like maybe sitting through it all the way through with no interruptions, I might find myself immersed in the world a little bit more. And for those who have or haven't read it, it's basically the four horsemen of the apocalypse are here on Earth, um, basically plotting the end of everything, and the only hope to life that we've got is death.
Uh-huh.
Seems like a pretty interesting premise, but give it a shot. We're hit or miss with Jonathan Hickman, but I'm a fan of a compendium, and
I
this is
have
a
read
very
it.
celebrated
I
series.
don't want to
Yes,
sully it, but yeah, I think the beginning is definitely stronger. But see how you feel.
I remember your reviews actually, and I really enjoyed keeping track of your reviews while you were going through your reading of it because it was very like this is great, this is it, and then there was moments where you had to be a little bit like not as
Yeah,
good as I thought the next chapter would be, and then it jumps up again. So check out Dave's reviews for it. But again, this is a very celebrated series, so I wouldn't want to ignore it as something that people might not enjoy as well to
fair,
check out. So,
cool.
so those are the two of the ones that wanted to mention. How about yourself?
I'm only going to mention a couple. There's Mystic U, Freshman Year Enchantments, and Zatanna from DC. They both Zatanna Bring Down the House from DC. So they're both Zatanna comics, and they immediately got my interest. Did you just spill it down your front?
I might have, but I
What a
didn't.
what
I'm
a
good. I'm
pro!
good.
Um, Also, the Doom Patrol Silver Age omnibus as well. I'm loving the Silver and Bronze Age DC stuff, even if it's just to flick through the pages. But that one is more complete than the previous version. So the previous one looked like it was going to be a 2-volume set, and then the second volume was a paperback. But this is just collecting all the Silver Age Doom Patrol. The Holy Roller from Image Comics, which is written by Rick Remender and Andy Samberg from Brooklyn
Yeah, yeah,
Nine-Nine and The Lonely Island. How
yeah.
random is that?
Very random. Cool,
The
cool, 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 cool,
only
cool.
other two I wanted to mention were Beta Ray Bill by Daniel Warren Johnson, Argent Star. I was hoping they'd deluxe it, but it's coming out as a paperback, so I'm kind of, well, do I? Because I kind of wanted to grab that for a while, but I was really hoping they'd hardcover it. And finally, Ultimate Spider-Man Epic Collection Learning Curve, which begins the great Ultimate Spider-Man run by Brian Michael Bendis. So it's the first chunk of that.
Nice, very good. One I forgot to mention was the Web of Spider-Man omnibus coming
Mm.
out. Collects issues 1 to 34, which was the third title of Spider-Man in the 80s. A variety of artists and writers and things like that, but it does collect or cross over with the Craven's Last Hunt during
Yeah.
this time.
I still think they should just collect everything in order. Otherwise, I probably would have listed it,
Yeah,
but they didn't.
yeah, yeah. It's one of those ones where once you get into the third title of the character, it can become, like you said, hard to keep track of where you are. But again, very cool that they're being completionists about it and giving the fans what some of them are missing in their collection. So there you got another Spider-Man Omni coming your way. Perfect. Another month, another list.
We did
All
it.
right. Next week we're gonna have a fun one. Should we announce it now or save it in the Discord?
We'll save
Check us
it.
out on the Discord.
We'll do it in the
Yeah.
Discord. Jump on the Discord and find out what next week's episode is going to be. Actually, we'll probably, by the time it goes out, it'll be like a very close line between the two. But yeah, jump on the Discord and we'll tell you. But also jump on
Yeah.
the website and don't forget to give us a thumbs up and follow us here on YouTube or whatever podcast platform you're currently listening to.
I love it. Good job. You did better than I do.
Oh, stop it, you
Omniversecomics.guide.
big flirt.
There you go. Everybody, thank you for tuning in with us on Twitch, and we will be back next week for another episode. Dave,
What's that, Glenn?
Glenn,
Oh, Glenn says, bye-bye. Cheers for watching, my dudes.
bye-bye for now.
And I quote,
Bye-bye, everybody.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.